19. There comes a moment in life when the dynamics between parents and children begin to transition. You invest years nurturing them, leading them, giving for them, yet then one day you come to a realization that something has. Perhaps they overlook your suggestions. Perhaps they overlook your viewpoints. Perhaps they belittle you, or even worse, they create. It can be really painful to feel like you're weighing others down. Your kids have begun to treat you with less appreciation than you truly merit. You may experience feelings of frustration or even anger. You may want to give them a heads up about all the details you've accomplished for them over the years. Dedicated time to prioritize them. But here's the reality is that getting upset won't solve anything. Actually, it frequently exacerbates the situation instead. There's a way to do this that works much better. Earn back their admiration without conflict, free from disputes and devoid of bitterness. Today, I'm excited to share 6 things with you. What to do when your kids don't show respect. These are impactful changes that are straightforward. Adjustments in your reactions that can totally change their perspective. Some of these may catch you off guard, but if you stick around until the end, you'll uncover the secrets to reclaiming your position as an esteemed and cherished presence in their lives. All right, let's dive right in and take action. Step 1, here we go. Seeking their validation. One of the common errors that caregivers often commit, particularly as they mature, is putting in excessive effort to perhaps their kids might have. Have you ever caught yourself doing it when you step outside? Find a way to meet their needs, and you agree. When you want to decline, you express your boundaries. Requires consideration beyond your own aspirations, anticipating that if you put in the right amount of effort, they'll recognize it. You more. But here's the harsh reality. The more you seek their validation, unless they respect you, you know what I mean. Respect isn't gained through self-sacrifice, is something that is gained through self-respect. If you're constantly compromising, constantly yielding, always bending over backwards, striving to maintain harmony in what you're doing, truly showing them is that your emotions take a back seat, and as soon as they begin thinking that it's simple for them to. I once knew a woman who was taken for granted, called Margaret a resilient and self-sufficient woman in her earlier days, but as she matured, as she grew older, she began allowing her children. She made all the decisions, she rearranged her timetable, aligned with their requirements, maintained her thoughts to herself, and even overlooked the way they talked to her really bothered me. I just want to maintain the bond within the family, she advised me once. But what happened to her children? Ceased to appreciate her. They regarded her as someone who consistently adapts. She believed in the power of silence, was maintaining harmony, but what she was truly experiencing was the loss of her voice. If your kids don't show you the respect you deserve, the initial move isn't to insist on it. It's to stop pretending you require it. Establish limits and assert yourself when it's necessary to express your thoughts. Your thoughts, even if they don't agree with them. You need to express it because the instant you begin to value yourself, and others will follow suit, perceiving you in a new light as time progresses. Respect will return to you through your actions. Avoid conflict. Show the way through your actions. When you kids often disregard what you say and interrupt you or show you a lack of respect, your initial reaction could be to dispute. Bring to their attention all your accomplishments and insist that they pay attention, but allow me to explain. I've got something that can save you a ton of time. Frustration is pointless. Arguing gets us nowhere. It's time to reflect. When was the last time you thought about it? Persuading someone to hold you in high regard by striving for it. Respect isn't one. It's gained through expression. Presence through your demeanor. Express yourself through your responses. When people attempt to push your limits, if you respond to disrespect with fury every time, what you're doing is validating what they already think. They possess influence. I once knew a guy named Frank, an educator who dedicated his career guiding a classroom with assurance, yet his adult children had begun a home regarding him as a secondary consideration. They overlooked his suggestions, disregarded his expressions of worry and occasional laughter when he initially attempted to set them straight, defended himself, attempting to demonstrate that he remained, earned their admiration, yet the more he struggled through the toughest times until one day, Frank opted for action rather than engaging in a debate. He began to truly pay attention, really paying attention. He ceased pursuing admiration through speech, and instead conducted himself with confidence. Who already possessed it, he communicated in a calm manner with insight without the desire to conquer, and gradually, his kids began to take notice. They observed a man who didn't seem to be in need of their validation, who didn't have to demonstrate himself, who was just a representation of. Find the power when your kids lack respect. You don't battle them for it, demonstrate to them what respect looks like through your actions. Take care of yourself, maintain your self-respect, and express yourself with assurance, and above all, always rise above and maintain your standards. When you stand firm with grace, they will experience it, and in due course, they will take your guidance if you remain composed. Checking out this video and discovering these. Your thoughts are important, so please share your feedback below. Drop a comment below to show you're here, and if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so you won't miss any of the latest uploads. Your support enables us to keep producing quality content, material designed to educate and motivate you at this moment. Let's proceed with Action 3: Withdrawal. Your emotional reliance, one of the toughest lessons to grasp as you evolve. As you grow older, reliance on others becomes less feasible. Kids, for emotional satisfaction, you might feel a profound affection for them and have a strong desire. Encourage them to reciprocate love and respect. But as soon as they pick up on your need to make them feel appreciated, the strength in the relationship changes. Let's get real. Individuals, including your own kids, hold in high regard individuals who possess emotional self-sufficiency. When you depend on them for approval, whether it's love or focus, it creates a sense of pressure about them, and rather than feeling thankful, they begin to feel weighed down. They could distance yourself, and they may begin to treat you differently, with a sense of urgency or perhaps annoyance. And the more you pursue their affection, the more it diminishes. They offer it without hesitation. I once encountered a woman. Helen was a warm and caring mother who had devoted everything to her children. As they matured and became occupied with her own journey, she discovered herself anxiously anticipating a call. When they failed to reach out, she took the initiative and called them instead. Frequently, she brought to their attention how deeply she longed for them and how she wished they would come by more often, but rather than bringing, it drew them nearer, yet it only created distance. Began to view her calls as an annoyance, responsibility rather than something they anticipated that one day Helen would. She decided to take action instead of waiting. She ceased to initiate calls. Instead, she began prioritizing her own growth and development, exploring fresh interests and enjoying time with friends, prioritizing her own joy. And something unexpected occurred here. Kids began using them more often, began valuing her time. When I saw her as an individual with a rich and fulfilling life. The lesson is straightforward. The less you rely on your kids to create a sense of purpose, the more they will begin to appreciate your presence. When you demonstrate your capabilities, stay resilient and independent, they will begin honoring you not because I have to, but due to their sincere appreciation for the lifestyle you've created for yourself. Action 4: Establish limits and uphold them. The main factors that lead to children's losses. Honor for their guardians stems from if you permit your parents, kids speaking to you in a disrespectful manner, disregard your views, or act as if your time and emotions are insignificant to them, will continue to pursue it not because they are unpleasant individuals. However, due to individuals, particularly relatives, people will consistently respond to you based on the boundaries you set. Establishing limits doesn't imply severing ties with your kids. or establishing. Disagreement signifies a composed and assertive approach, determining the type of actions you will and will not accept, and more importantly, it involves upholding those limits when they are intertwined. I recall an individual named Robert, a former entrepreneur who had dedicated his life to managing a business with focus and self-assurance, yet when it came to his grown kids, he faced challenges. He was cut off while he was talking, ignored his worries, and even expressed disapproval of his lifestyle choices. Initially, he accepted it. He reassured himself about it. Was it worth the struggle? But as time went on, he came to understand that whenever he remained quietly, he was showing them that the conduct was fine. So on a particular day, Robert shifted his strategy when his son. He calmly continued, despite being interrupted, communicating when you're prepared to hear. When his daughter brushed aside his thoughts, he just said, "You don't need to. I anticipate your agreement with my perspective. Show me respect." And when they kept on, he pushed his limits and made it clear that if they was unable to show him even the most fundamental level of respect, wouldn't be dedicating time to them. And you know what went down? They kicked things off. Initially, they were hesitant, but as time went on, they came to understand their father wasn't giving up. They noticed that he recognized his worth and insisted on being treated with dignity. As a result, they began providing. Share it with him if your kids lack respect. It's time to reflect on whether you are permitting it, since if you fail to establish boundaries, they won't establish them on your behalf. And if you don't advocate for yourself, if you remain stagnant, no one else will step up. Checking out this video and discovering these, your thoughts are important. So please share your feedback below. Drop a comment below to show you're here. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button and enable notifications. Hit that bell so you won't miss any of the latest uploads. Your support enables us to keep producing great content, material designed to educate and motivate you at this moment. Let's take the next step and proceed with Action 5. Offering without recognition. One of the fastest way to lose credibility is to continue offering to those who fail to value it. As caregivers, we find ourselves doing this more frequently. More than we understand, we dedicate our time, our vibrancy, our encouragement, even in the absence. Recognized, even when it's been taken for. Given, even when we face emptiness. But entitlement, and here's the reality. When you offer to someone who lacks, "Thanks a lot," you really don't create that affection for me. Don't create respect, you cultivate anticipation. They cease observing your valuing kindness and beginning viewing it as something they deserve. When you pause, they keep going. Appreciate their feelings of inconvenience. I once knew a man named George who was a father who had consistently shown kindness with his kids. He supported them financially whenever it was required, all the support they need, and even reshaped his existence to fit their requires. But rather than appreciation, he was encountered issues that were not mentioned. Thank you. They anticipated more, and the most disappointing moment was when he truly required their assistance was lacking. And then suddenly one day, George decided to make a shift. He halted. He paused after pushing himself too far, providing assistance even before it was requested. And above all, he began to say, not when he had to initially. His kids were feeling upset because they didn't grasp the reason behind his lack of flexibility. No longer a challenge for them. But as time goes on, there was a change, and they began to appreciate. This time, they began to recognize his efforts because they suddenly came to a realization that his generosity had its limits. It was a present, not something promised. If you sense, it's as if your kids don't value your measure your effort or your kindness. Take a moment to reflect. Are you truly contributing, exceeding the appropriate amount? And if that's the case, what should be done? What would occur if you ceased? When you show others that your kindness depends on mutual respect, they will begin to approach it in that manner. Step 6. Create a life beyond their influence. A highly effective method to reclaim. Demonstrating respect to your children is essential. that your joy isn't dependent. Surrounding them as caregivers, it's instinctive to dedicate ourselves to our kids to create the focal point of our existence. Yet as time goes by, those dynamic changes occur, and if you've dedicated your whole existence focusing on them, they might begin to notice you as an individual with no other options. Hey everyone, let's show some love and appreciation for those who have put in the hard work. Individual goals and personal passions, personal satisfaction, and if your kids notice that you depend on them for enjoyment, affirmation, or significance, they could begin to feel overwhelmed, or the negative side of things could lead them to view you as an individual lacking personal pursuits. Knew a woman named Eleanor, a widow in the late 70s. Following the passing of her husband, she dedicated all her energy to her children's regular updates and staying engaged. Unsolicited guidance they didn't seek them to occupy the void that her partner once did, but rather than illustrating them, the more it drew them apart, they came to see, as their calls grew more brief, and Eleanor experienced a profound sense of isolation during that time. She decided to join a book club. She began exploring new places with her friends. Offer my time at a nearby community center. She ceased creating for her children the focal point of her universe, and something amazing occurred. Her kids began. They were eager to connect and learn more. They admired what she was doing. They respected her independence. If your kids aren't showing you respect, consider asking, how do they perceive you as an individual with? Whether they perceive a life filled with purpose. You as an individual biding your time for their focus, as when you present to them that you're truly alive, not merely going through the motions. They'll begin to notice you in an entirely new perspective. If you're still enjoying this content and discovering, I'd love to hear your thoughts on these insights, so please share your comments. Please indicate with number 6 below that you're. Hey there, if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so you won't miss any of the latest uploads. Your support enables us to keep producing great content, material designed to educate and motivate you ultimately. Respect is not something what you can expect from your kids is something that motivates others through your approach. The way you present yourself speaks volumes. Establish limits, and by the manner in which you embrace your journey if they have begun showing you diminished attention, take into account, or show less regard. Do not channel your energy into frustration. Instead, change your mindset and stop pursuing their acceptance, because the less you seek it, the more they'll be inspired to follow suit. As your self-respect resonates more profoundly than your expressions, pull back your feelings. Reliance, since the more self-reliant you become, the more they'll honor your space and establish limits. Since individuals will solely regard you as, please ensure they cease providing as you need them to. Lacking recognition, since when generosity is overlooked, it diminishes its worth, and above all, create a existence beyond their influence due to individuals. Honor individuals who pursue their unique goals, personal happiness, and individual fulfillment. If you follow these steps, something amazing is about to unfold for you. Kids will begin to notice you in a varied perspective, not as an individual in anticipation to capture their focus, but as an individual who commands respect just by existing. They are, and over time, that respect will grow. Return to you not due to your requested it, but because you deserved it. We appreciate you being here with us today. It means a lot. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below and tell us one thing you discovered today and how you intend to incorporate it into your daily routine. We value your opinions, so feel free to share them while reading. Your feedback truly inspires us. And support if you like this. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and share to show your support. Let's keep producing great material too. Thank you for your support and encouragement. And tuning in, and we can't wait to catch up. Catch you in the next clip.